So what's this little knob here for?
It's got a 2-speed gearbox on the conditioner.
Okay.
So you're floating, you can slow down for alfalfa.
Cool.
And speed up for grass.
That's handy. What's behind this cover?
That's going to be your shear pin.
Okay.
Bolt there. And then there's 3 points, and I'm sure Ben will go through it, but there's 3 points here that you can rotate this to find a new bolt.
Okay.
Put your shear bolt through.
Cool. Hopefully I don't need to know that.
Right.
Hey everybody, it's Ryan. Welcome back to How Farms Work. About a week ago we took the duals off of the 4640 because we're going to be using it for hay. So the semi just pulled in with the latest delivery and we're about to pull out with the 4640 and the 7600 to pull out off what's on it. We're sending back the seed drill today and getting 2 new things. Now, luckily I thought to bring the teleskid over this morning, because Travis mentioned it yesterday that we had to use it last time, and we didn't think we'd have to use it at first because he's brought a new trailer this year. He didn't have to set the front hitch of the mower up on the front of the trailer deck, which is on the truck. Am I flat?
A little bit more. There you go.
You may notice that this mower is slightly different than the one we ran last year. We'll get back to that in a second.
What'd you say? Put it in real gear and go? Yeah, if you're going to touch down up here, that'd be good. I was hoping to be chained down and rolling down the road before it starts raining. Next off, we're locked up.
So we've got the Kuhn FC 4061 TCD unloaded, and Ben's gonna tell us a little bit about the differences between this one and the mower that we ran last year. So what are the big differences, Ben?
Yep, so this is the new generation of the 4060 you had last year. So the main change is going to be in the cutter bar. This is an OptiDisc Elite. Last year was just OptiDisc. So that's a narrower profile cutter bar, still the same gear-to-gear design. But otherwise, same 13-foot working width. This one is a D, so that stands for DigiDry. So it'll have the finger conditioner, where last year we had the rubber rolls.
Yep. What are we gonna do if we're gonna run alfalfa through it?
Yep, so we've got a 2-speed gearbox on the conditioner here, so you can run it at rabbit or turtle if you want 780 RPMs or 1,000. On the conditioner drive, generally in alfalfa, you'll go a little bit slower, so you're a little bit gentler on the leaves. And then around on the other side, we've got the conditioning panel adjustment. This panel here goes up and down. That controls how much it forces the crop into the conditioners there. So obviously the more lower you have it, the more the crop is going to get pushed into the fingers, so it rubs on the crop, the fingers, the panel, to do a little bit more conditioning. Obviously with alfalfa, you don't want to overdo it, so probably run it up a little bit. It's going to depend on, you know, how much crop's out there and all that kind of stuff on what the right spot is. But we've got specially shaped fingers on here, so that's supposed to create a little bit less air turbulence with that trailing kind of boot shape. And then these are all laser cut too, so there shouldn't be any sharp edges on there to cut stuff. You just want to scrape the wax off the stem a little bit is the goal. We're going to get about a 2-inch cut height at only a 2-degree angle on the cutter bar because it's that low of a profile. So we've slimmed that down even a little bit more since the Opti disc. We still have the protected drive bearings in here, so if you hit a really big rock, it'll shear the disc off outside the cutter bar, protect all the gears. And this is a Lube for Life cutter bar, so you'd never have to change the oil in that.
Okay.
Then it's the fast fit system again, so the same tool, you just tie down and the blades come off.
Change the whole thing in about 15 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah. So this one's still 13 foot width, correct?
Yep.
And those back panels, we took those off last year, and I see that this one has hangers for it.
Yep, yeah, with the finger conditioners, you got these little hooks, so you kind of flip it over upside down. The part that's inside fits in this little tab, and then the little, it's kind of a tension handle will slide in here, and you just clamp it on there, and you can store them there if you need them, or if you want to put them back on, make a little bit narrower windrow, it's pretty easy to do.
Well, it'll be handy because then we can take it to the field with us, and if we want to change it, we can on the spot. Okay. Otherwise, everything should pretty much be the same as last year.
Yep, yeah, same gyrodyne hitch that swivels up front, and the center drive gearbox that goes over to the gearbox on the right or left side, sorry. Then torsion bar suspension again, so that gives you a really consistent suspension through the whole range of motion.
So what about this fancy new rake you sent us? Let's go have a look at that. So this rake design is entirely new to me. Can you describe it to me and how it works?
Sure. I'm Brian with Kuhn North America. I'm the product manager for the hay tools side of things. Right here we have our single rotor rake. It is the GA 4230T trail. Probably the most popular of our single rotor rakes that we sell here in North America. This unit is built with a 540 PTO and a CV joint there at the PTO. Helps eliminate PTO chatter during tight turns at headlands. We have our, what's new to this model versus our previous models is our Master Drive Generation 3 gearbox. Essentially what we've changed there is we went with a fully aluminum alloy tine arm housing to strengthen and lighten up that gearbox. Also larger cam bearings and cam tracks, which gives it durability and allows you to slow down your rotor speed for those heavy conditions and peak loads as well.
Okay, so how do you decide to use this over another kind of rake? In what situations would I be using this one versus a speed rake or something else?
Sure. So one of the big differences with this is it's a little more controllable of how much you take in, especially if you're running in tedded hay, to make that windrow. With speed rake, generally you're running with both wheels down or wings down, and if you get in that first cutting, you can have a tendency of getting wrap in those longer, grassier fields. With the rotor rake and our design, with our double curved tines here, or tangential, hypertangential curved arms here, it helps bring us our material across the front and lifting and fluffing that windrow off to your side without having to worry about wrapping on the tines themselves. That is also a new design for us as well, is this hypertangential or double curved tine arm. It allows us to bring these tines actually closer into our tandem wheels here for contouring.
I heard you mention that these are ran by cam and track.
Yes, sir.
Inside. So as you go along, as they spin, they'll fluff the hay off to the side and just kind of let it go.
Right, and with that new double tine arm design, it helps pull that material up to your swath curtain there, lift up and fluff and pull away quickly so you don't disrupt that windrow and have a nice consistent windrow. Okay. Swath curtain over there is adjustable. All the way out or close as it is right now. That's more of a transport setting there.
Okay, so will this throw the hay off to the side and then that's kind of the purpose of it, or will it pick it up and then just kind of let it like up there where it just kind of picks up and lets it go?
It'll actually just pull it and flip it up to fluff it, but it won't actually
Throw it.
throw it.
Okay.
Up
So it'll be
into the
gentle,
air.
depending on how fast you run it too.
Yeah, it'll throw a little.
Right.
Okay. Alrighty. Where do you recommend we set that curtain to?
Probably a 3 foot. I usually do about a 3 foot windrow.
Okay.
Depends a lot on how much crop you have.
This rake working with is 13 foot 10 inches. So usually that includes also that windrow
Okay.
as well. The lights on it are an optional item as well, as some guys like to work later hours that don't get so much dew come the afternoon. That'll not be a nice feature for them to run at later hours. This is your stopping work height. Just
Okay,
the
so
spin of this. Right, and it's a hydraulic lift and lower system. So you just set it, and essentially you want to bring it just down to where you're just above your stubble, to where you're not digging in the ground.
Okay.
And doing that.
So this is for the rear,
Yes, sir.
and then that one up there is for the front?
That one's actually going to make your rotor actually sit level, or if you want just a little bit of a pitch, depending on what your operation requires, you can do that there. That's more of a fine tuning.
Alright, so we set that one first and then do the front.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And then our hydraulic system also allows this unit to come down, very similar to an aircraft coming down on a runway. It lowers the back end and then settles out the front. That way you're not running your tines into the ground coming down at a forward angle like.
Okay, so it's a little bit easier on the tines.
Yes, sir.
When I send this one back, I'm gonna have to play hide the signature on it and let you guys figure out where I signed it.
I've been joking with that a couple when they're asking about that drill. I can probably get it signed if that helps.
Probably not, but you never know. Well, it's even got it stamped there too. This one.
Have you guys ran a rotary rake before?
This is going to be our first time running a rotary rake, so this is totally new to me, and
I think you'll like them.
Really?
We loved ours.
Okay.
You're a little more limited on ground speed, so about 5-6 miles an hour. Is
That's the recommended.
you can go. Yeah. You go faster than that, then it just can't rake fast enough.
It'll
to grab
start falling back.
Okay. Where do you recommend setting the tractor speed to?
You don't have to run it wide open, especially you're going to have more than enough horsepower. So you'll probably just have to play with it a little bit to see. It's going to depend on how heavy the crop is. And
My guess is maybe 12 to 15, but I don't know.
you don't have to have it screaming for it to work.
Yeah.
You'll see how you find just the right spot, and obviously conditions, whether it's first cutting, second, third,
Okay. What does the retail on one of these cost?
I think it's right at 11.
Right at 11?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'd say between 10 and 12.
Yeah, and then obviously if you go up in size or down in size, right? Or if you go mounted, but most guys like the trail system out there.
Okay.
Saying about this, where these are mounted outside the tube, so when that coil flexes, it'll never contact the tube. Where
The tube won't constrict its
some
flex.
of the other ones, the tube runs through the coil, which is all right, but it can limit it. And the other problem is, like if you break this one, you got to take these off to slide everything off. So this is you just take one off that break.
So I'm looking forward to using this new rake as well as the new mower this year. I know that having two mowers really helps get the hay cut and will help us get it made that much faster. So I appreciate you guys coming down and giving us the runaround on the equipment. And I'm sure we'll be cutting hay here in the coming days, hopefully not weeks, and we can see how they run. So anyway, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out all of our other videos. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. All How Farms Work. And with that, I'll see you next time.